White Clan 1 is an emerging sect in Yibin, Sichuan province. After Li Xianyip made a big contribution to the War of the Demons and Heaven, he returned to his hometown in Yibin and established a sect. Young people who supported Li Xianyip given his fame gathered and formed a large group. The White Clan is classified as one of the 3 clans of Sichuan, along with the Thunder Clan and Golden River Clan. The main reason why the White Clan managed to avoid the great bloodbath in Chengdu is because the area of their activity is in the faraway land of Yibin. Unlike the Thunder Clan and Golden River Clan, which are based in the vicinity of Chengdu, although the White Clan is classified as one of the 3 clans, its power is greatly lacking compared to the Thunder Clan and Golden River Clan. Paradoxically, the only reason the White Clan was able to survive to the end so far was because he knew the lack of power and acted like a benefactor. When the bloodbath occurred in Chengdu, the White Clan's sect leader No Kongmyong did not mobilize his troops until the end. This is because he was cautious and he hated taking risks. Such prudence saved the White Clan. Following the Qingqing sect and Amei sect, the White Clan was able to survive despite the collapse of the Thunder Clan and the Golden River Clan. Li Xianyip, who was the first sect leader of White Clan, urged No Kongmyong to always be cautious. He was taught that prudence is the only weapon that can save themselves from the brutal Jianghu. No Kongmyong never forgot the teacher's teaching, and thanks to that, he was able to take care of their sect. Many sects in Sichuan were caught up in the bloodshed where they suffered heavy blows. Naturally, a tectonic shift occurred in Sichuan Jianghu. The Qingqing and Amei sect chose to close their gates, while the Thunder Clan and Golden River Clan were destroyed. The White Clan, which had survived, became the new center of Sichuan. It was like blowing your nose without touching it. However, No Kongmyong did not feel relieved at all. While their sect has become the center of Sichuan by doing nothing, he knows that their prestige is only an outward appearance, that man is still in Chengdu, the man who managed to shake and overturn the order of Sichuan province, which has been firmly established for hundreds of years, and created a new board. No matter how many people raise the White Clan, No Gangpyeong is an average man, knowing that it will be over when the man steps forward. If we bother him for no reason, the White Clan will be swept away. No Kongmyong strictly forbade his disciples from entering Chengdu without his permission. No Kongmyong knew the exact size of his bowl, so he was afraid that he would be the target of his resentment without knowing about it. No Kongmyong knew the exact size of his bowl. Point 2. No matter how hard he tried, people continue to insist that their sect should lead the future of Sichuan Jianghu. Now that their sect is at the center, it's easy for a sect to collapse if they're full of greed. No Kongmyong just wanted to live as they are for a long time. His gaze suddenly turned to the candlestick lying next to the table. A large incense candle was lit, and as it burned, a very nice scent was spreading out. No Kongmyong took a deep breath of incense. His mind and body seemed to be at peace. That was then, "Sect leader, I brought you your tea." A female servant's voice was heard outside. The familiar voice. No Kongmyong allowed her to enter without any doubt. "Come in." "Yes." After receiving his permission, the female servant cautiously entered. In an instant, No Kongmyong's eyes lit up. It was because a mysterious scent pierced his nose. The sweet aroma made his heart race. The female servant put down the teacup and kettle she had brought on the table. As she leaned forward, her breastbone was slightly exposed. No Kongmyong was slightly bewildered by the unexpected situation. Was this child always this mature? The female servant, who brought his tea, was a child he knew well. She had a pretty cute face and pale skin, so he knew that she was popular among the warriors of White Clan. But he was not interested in her because he knew her since she was still a child. She was just like a daughter or niece to him. But today, for the first time, his heart jumped at the sight of the female servant. No Kongmyong was surprised by his own reaction. He thought that his sexual desire had already decreased a lot recently because he had a lot of things to pay attention to. But now, he found his heart was racing for a female servant. "Come here." No Gangpyeong unknowingly took the female servant's hand. "Oh my." The female servant trembled in surprise. However, the appearance contained a rather strange color, which made No Kongmyong even more excited. "How old are you this year?" I'm 17. "That's a good age." No Kongmyong buried his face in the servant's neck. the female servant was so startled that she couldn't resist. She has been serving No Kong Mayong for a very long time. However, No Kong Mayong had never crossed the line or done anything rude to her. So now that he suddenly turned like an animal and treated her harshly, she didn't know what to do. Stay still. Buck, No Kong Mayong tore the female servant's clothes roughly. The female servant did not dare to resist, but at some point, the female servant's eyes changed. The female servant, who looked at No Kong Mayong with hazy eyes, soon began to actively cooperate with his actions. The two intertwined like snakes, and let out harsh breaths. Their actions continued into the night. Ugh. Finally, with No Kong Mayong's rough breathing, he poured out everything he had on the female servant. The female servant closed her eyes and hugged No Kong Mayong. No Kong Mayong calmed his rough breathing while embracing the female servant. He could feel the female servant trembling in his arms. No Kong Mayong smiled with satisfaction. He soon fell into a deep sleep, while hugging the servant. The female servant, too, could not resist and fell asleep in his arms. As the both of them fell into deep sleep, the candle that lit the room was also extinguished. The night passed and morning came, but the two who were still embracing each other still have yet to wake up. When No Kong Mayong did not come out of his room even though the sun was already out, his disciple Kwok Jongon became suspicious. "This is something that hasn't happened in years, master. This is your disciple Jongon. May I come in?" He spoke carefully, but there was no answer from inside. Kwok Jongon, who could not wait long, opened the door of his master's room and entered with the other sect members. Oh my! They saw No Kong Mayong sleeping while hugging a young female servant. It was a common occurrence for people in power, especially as high as No Kong Mayong, to have many concubines. This is because it was a common occurrence for those in power in this era to have a relationship mediated with money. The problem is that No Kong Mayong was not that kind of person at all. It was No Kong Mayong, who could have any woman he wanted if he wanted to. But if it becomes known that No Kong Mayong forcibly embraces a female servant, his reputation will greatly be reduced. Kwok Jongon had a hard time figuring out how to fix the current situation. He had to prevent this situation from causing damage to the master's face as much as possible. Suddenly, Kwok Jongon thought that something was strange. No Kong Mayong should have woken up immediately the moment he and the other disciples had come in. It didn't make sense for No Kong Mayong to be still in deep sleep after so many people coming in. "Master, get up. Master!" He and the other disciples rushed in and woke up No Kong Mayong. However, No Kong Mayong did not move. It was the same with the female servant. It was because both have already ceased breathing. Oh my! Did he die while having sex? Unbelievable! Kwok Jongon and the other disciples were appalled. They couldn't believe that the sect leader of the White Clan would die while having sex with a female servant. If this fact is known to others, the faces of the White Clan and No Kong Mayong will fall to the floor. They had to stop that from happening. Damn. We should be the only ones to know what happened today. If the truth comes out, we will not be able to raise our faces again in Jianghu and continue with our activities. Do you understand? Yes, senior brother. The other disciples responded in unison. The female servant's death was not of interest to them. No one cared about her death, and no one wondered why she died. They thoroughly hid the case to keep the honor of the sect leader and the White Clan. Externally, it was announced that No Kong Mayong died after experiencing chi deviation while practicing martial arts. Many people mourned No Kong Mayong's death and prepared a grand funeral. Yu Jiaicheon frowned heavily. Lord No has died. On his desk was a letter asking him to attend the funeral. Yu Jiaicheon had formed a deep friendship with No Kong Mayong for a long time. Yu Jiaicheon was a successful merchant, while No Kong Mayong was the owner of a large sect called the White Clan. Of course, the two had no choice but to take care of each other. After returning to his hometown, Yu Jiaicheon maintained a close relationship with No Kong Mayong by supporting him. Although he didn't intend to grow his merchant company anymore, it was still better for him to be close to people in power such as No Kong Mayong in order to live comfortably in Sichuan. He experienced chi deviation and died. Yu Jiaicheon muttered with a look of disbelief. He had just met No Kongmyong around 2 weeks ago. No Kongmyong looked in good shape, and he showed no sign of undergoing chi deviation. Furthermore, when Yu Jiaicheon asked about his achievements these days, No Kongmyong even said that he doesn't care much about his life nor is he concerned about his own progress in martial arts. So Yu Jiaicheon couldn't help but be puzzled to hear that such a No Kongmyong had suffered from chi deviation. Only those who work hard at learning martial arts will suffer from chi deviation. So how could someone like No Kongmyong, who had almost given up on his martial arts, die from chi deviation? Wait a minute, Yu Jiaicheon suddenly stopped, because something came to mind. He hurriedly opened the drawer. Inside were piles of invitations he received recently. Why Yu Jiaicheon took out some of them. As in the case of No Kongmyong, most of the letters asked him to attend a funeral, Lord Ok of the Golden Fist Village and sect leader Jean of the Star Palace. They are all known externally to have died from chi deviation. Both of them were people who were close to Yu Jiaicheon, and both had recently lost their lives due to chi deviation. Why Yu Jiaicheon tapped the desk with his finger. Is it a coincidence for 3 people to die in the past few days due to chi deviation? There was a deep crease in his forehead. He didn't believe in coincidences. One of the lessons he learned from his decades of being a merchant is that when something happens, there is always a sign or omen to match it. There was no prior indication for the death of those 3 people. It was as if the impossible had happened. What if the deaths of these 3 people are a harbinger of an event? Or is someone deliberately disguising their deaths? Several assumptions came to mind in an instant. If it were an ordinary person, they would have dismissed it as a useless idea, but Yu Jiaicheon didn't miss a thing, no matter how trivial. After thinking for a while, Yu Jiaicheon summoned a man who was guarding his residence. Come here. What's the matter, my lord? The warrior was now in his early 30s, and had a strong impression. He was a mercenary, known for his strong martial arts skills in Jianghu. So Yu Jiaicheon spent a lot of money in order to recruit him. Why Yu Jiaicheon said, accompany me to the White Clan. Now? Yes. This late at night? The sect leader of the White Clan has passed away. What? How did he die? They say that he suffered from chi deviation. Let's go. I'll go out first to make the necessary preparations. Okay. After his escort went out, Yu Jiaicheon changed into his outdoor clothes. When he went out, his guards were already waiting for him. Let's go. Yes. Yu Jiaicheon hurriedly went out of the snow-cloud villa with his escorts. As he opened the door, someone saw him, and shouted loudly, "Oh, it's Grandpa." It was Soma who screamed as he was about to leave. Soma jumped at the sight of Yu Jiaicheon, but Soma was with a man Yu Jiaicheon had never seen. A man with half of his face covered with a scarf. Why Yu Jiaicheon instinctively recognized the man's identity. It's him. The man who died Chengdu with blood that particular night, the ruler of the night, who was feared by all warriors in Sichuan, was right in front of him. Why Yu Jiaicheon's face froze involuntarily. Grandpa, where are you going? Not knowing that, Soma asked innocently.